Hello, and welcome to this episode about what to include in a resume. Essentially, your resume is an advertisement to prospective employers. It should be prepared with as much care as a promotional campaign for a new product launch. It should set you apart from other candidates in the job market and showcase to your employer your strongest qualifications. Therefore, you should only include the most relevant highlights of your career in your resume. There are different types of resumes, but the most widely accepted one is the chronological one. In this type of resume, your experiences should be presented in reverse chronological order, meaning that you begin with your most recent experience and work backward. There are 4 main sections of a chronological resume: contact information, education, work experience, and other important accomplishments and activities. Let's explore them together. The contact information section must include your first and last names. Middle names are optional. Your nationality. Employers need to evaluate whether you have a working permit in case you're applying abroad. Phone number, preferably a cell phone number over a house number. Email address. It can be your email from your university or a personal email that looks professional. And your mailing address. It may seem old school, as probably most of the communication will be done by email. However, many employers still send offers and rejections via post. Having a mail address in your resume also gives the employer an idea of how much time you'll need to commute to go to the office. On the flip side, the mailing address can be used for discriminatory purposes, as it's possible to get socioeconomic and ethnic data based on a zip code. The following section in the chronological resume depends on how long you left university. If you're a recent graduate, the education section should come before the work experience. However, if your last degree happened over 3 years ago, the work experience section should come before the educational one. The idea behind this is that your most relevant experiences stand out right away. Let's explore what should and shouldn't be included in the education section. The elementary and middle schools are never included on a resume. There are only 3 cases in which you should include your high school on your resume. If you're still in high school, if you only have a high school diploma, or if you are in the first few years of college. Other than that, eliminate high school from your resume. In the education section, for each degree you have from the bachelor's degree onwards, specify the type of degree, the name of the course, and the educational institution. For example, Master's in Entrepreneurship at ESADE, or Bachelor of Arts in Biomedical Engineering at Harvard. For each academic experience, add the starting and ending month, year, and location. Now we'll move on to the work experience section of a chronological resume. This section will most likely be the bulk of your resume. Your most recent work experiences should be at the top and your older experience down below. Add the starting and ending month, year, and location for each work experience. Also, state the name and the industry of the company that you have worked for. For example, venture capital or software, etc. Some recruiters might not know the company by name, but if you add the industry that it's in, the recruiter can have an idea of the sector that you've worked in. Below that, add the title or name of your role. Last comes the description of your responsibilities and accomplishments in the position. Add in 2 to 3 bullet points explaining the skills you built and exercised. In the first bullet point, write a high-level overview of your responsibilities. The interviewer should be able to understand in 1 sentence what your role was about. Let's analyze 2 examples. Example 1. Created a pricing strategy for the German market to convert more users from the free version to the subscription and to retain customers in the long term. Example 2. Analyzed many databases and found the price point that made customers buy more. Based on those descriptions, which candidate would you hire? Both examples describe the same role. However, the candidate in the first example seems more experienced than the candidate in the second example. The reason for that is that the candidate in the second example described the processes involved in her daily activities. In comparison, the candidate in the first example explained how her activities contribute to the company's goals. Thus, in the first bullet point, focus on how you generated value for the business, not on your daily tasks. Then, in the second and third bullet points, write down quantifiable examples of the results of your work. They are evidence of how you generated value for your previous company. The more measurable examples of business impact, the more arguments you're providing to your recruiter to invite you for an interview. Let's analyze 2 examples. Example 1. Presented the company's quarterly results for 200 people and had an NPS of 8. Example 2. Good communication skills. Which candidate seems more prepared for a PR role? When reading the second example on a resume, a recruiter might think, good communications according to who? The candidate? Where's the evidence? The candidate in the first example seems more robust and reliable than the candidate in the second example. The reason for that is that in the first example, the candidate showed evidence of her work through numbers. In contrast, in the second example, the candidate only provided an opinion. Using terms such as good communicator, can-do attitude, and team player without substantiating them with facts or examples add very little, if any, value to your resume. Besides, whoever is reading it will tune out. Snap out of using jargon and highlight specific essential skills backed up with measurable examples to give your resume credibility. We come to the last and most flexible section of the chronological resume, called Other Important Information. This section aims to showcase unique milestones in your career or skills that make you an outstanding candidate. For example, honors and awards, grants, language skills, programming skills, or volunteering. Use this criteria when evaluating what to add to this section. Conducted for a substantial period. Don't even mention that one time you helped distribute food for the homeless on one Sunday after church 3 years ago. Generated significant results. Unique or challenging to achieve. And applicable for the job. This section should make you stand out from other candidates. In the next episode, we'll explore what not to include in a resume. I'll see you there.